Welcome back into the film room. I'm your host, Eric Turner. In today's Cover One film room feature, we're going to take a look at linebacker Terrel Bernard in his first start in the 2023 season against the New York Jets. You guys know I love studying linebackers, so I had to start with his film. And he finished the game with 12 total tackles, 4 solo, 8 assisted, 2 stops, surrendered 2 passes on 2 targets for 38 yards. We're going to break those down, one being a really big play on third down, a 24-yard play to Allen Lazard. We're going to show you the good, the bad, and I want to get your thoughts and maybe even your grade about his play against the New York Jets. Some of the things I really liked from him on film from this game were his vision in the pass game, his ability to space multiple routes and concepts, and then work to the nearest threat in the passing game. Some of the areas that I was really worried about were versus the run, being a lighter type of linebacker, especially when you're talking a Mike linebacker stacked over those interior gaps. I was worried about him a little bit, and there were times where he did get covered up and couldn't destroy the block or disengage, but there were also times where he fired his gun and made tackles in the backfield. Against the run, his average depth of tackle was 1 yard. Him and Milano both had 1 yard average depth of tackle, so there were times where he just fired his gun, shot the gap, made stops on the running back and ball carriers in the backfield or right at the line of scrimmage. So that's very promising to see from him in his first start. So without further ado, let's jump into the film of linebacker Terrel Bernard against the New York Jets. Early in the game, the Jets send out 12 personnel and run a duo run downhill. You see Bernard trigger, come downhill, and that movement is part of the reason why Breece Hall bounces it outside. Now watch Leonard Floyd. Great job of controlling that tight end. He disengages and in the hole meets Breece Hall, but late shove in the play gives Hall just enough room to squeeze through for the big run. So good trigger by Bernard on that play against the Jets. One of my favorite traits of Bernard is his coverage skills, especially in zone defense. And you see that on this play. Looks like a pretty simple play. On the snap, he and Milano work the tight end and running back on the snap. Watch, running back exits. We talk about this all the time. He goes outside the tackle box. That gets a push call from Bernard, letting Milano know, running back's yours. I'll take the tight end. He does. And that's where Rodgers is looking to go with the ball. Initially, widens with Milano to the running back. He's looking out wide also to the wide receiver, who's number 1 versus Trey White. Now he wants to hit number 3 right there, but Bernard's there. Forces Rodgers to hold on to it and then look to escape the pocket and eventually throw it away. Early on, Bernard was a big reason why Aaron Rodgers and the Jets offense didn't get to their first or second read on a lot of their plays, and eventually it cost Aaron Rodgers his season here, holding on to the ball as the tackle looks to cut Floyd. But watch Bernard as 2 targets come through his area. So the tight end right now is looking at Rodgers, but obviously Rodgers cannot throw that. So as he exits past the second level, Bernard is passing him onto the safety. Now he's got to stay home and look for any crossers coming inside. You see him do that as well. And so Taron Johnson does a great job of squeezing over the middle. So once again, first and second reads are taken away. The ball's supposed to be out quick. You can tell because of that cut block, it's not out quick, and Floyd ends Aaron Rodgers' season. Another pass coverage rep here from Bernard. Jets throw it into the slot to the top of the screen to Garrett Wilson. Bills have an in and out coverage on Wilson here, which ends the play. But I like, once again, the leverage by Bernard to the bottom of the screen. Walls off number 3 right there. And as that guy exits, watch where his eyes go. Goes right down to the other wide receiver and just widens with him to help take that away. That's very good leverage and pass coverage by Bernard. I know the ball doesn't go there, but these are the type of things that he needs to do well. Spacing concepts and trusting his eyes and playing with that vision, because this is a vision-based system, to help out other defenders and teammates on the play. Again, good job by Bernard in coverage, zone spacing, and getting to his spot in coverage, which helps the front end, the pass rush on this play. 3-by-1, he's aligned to the 3-by-1 side. You get the communication push. Hey, tight end's going outside there. But look at him gain his depth and look at his eyes. Just finding those targets. Hey, eventually, if everyone's outside, someone's going to be coming inside. And someone does. Lazard right here comes inside, and he's there to undercut that and take that away if that's where the quarterback wants to go with the ball. So once again, good leverage, in zone coverage, good vision, and understanding that if all three receivers to this trip side are outside, eventually someone's coming inside. On this play, it was Lazard on a dig route, but he's there to take that away. Here's one of the more deflating runs from this game against the Jets. Sean McDermott admitted that the Bills were misaligned on this play, and when you see it from the end zone angle, you're going to see why that's so important, because the Bills were out-gapped. They did not have enough guys to fill the strong side of this formation. 13 personnel, 3 tight ends to the right side of your screen. And as the play rolls on, you can see everyone has a gap, right? You see all these guys have a gap. But Trey White on this duo run, he's screwed because he basically has 2 gaps here. And he's not able to make the play at the point of attack on Breece Hall. And that springs Breece for the big run. So in my opinion, these guys all should be bumped over this way, especially because you're going to watch the safety fill right here. So something happened when it came to an alignment issue here. I think that second level should be bumped over a gap, especially because they're bringing that safety down into the box. The Bills don't have enough numbers at the point of attack, and that allows Breece Hall to shoot out the front side of this play for the big, big run. But props to our man Christian Benford on this play. Down to the bottom of the screen here. Look at the hustle by him. Got to give him a shout out on this play because he saved this run with some incredible hustle to hawk down one of the fastest guys in the league. Nice tackle on this play off of play action. Bernard comes downhill immediately, and he has to because ball is coming to his side. He has to fire downhill and try to beat the offensive lineman, but the quarterback pulls it. So he gets back to his area, as do Hyde, Milano, and others. And Wilson checks it down, but look at the angle and leverage. So Taron Johnson comes up like a heat-seeking missile, gets dropped to the ground, but Bernard is there for a very nice tackle on the tight end Conklin to force another down. Nice crack toss run by Dalvin Cook and the Jets on this play. And a lot of people were upset at Bernard for getting caught in the wash here and getting pancaked, but I think he actually does a really good job of staying over the top of the block. So here's a crack block. That's going to allow Mekhi Becton to get on the perimeter. But Rapp is caught sleeping, and you see Bernard stay over the top. So 60 McGovern, he is trying to go get Bernard. But Bernard stays over the top of all of that traffic. He does a great job of working over the top because you can even see the other tight end coming down to help on Rousseau and creating almost like a wall on the right side there. Bernard stays over the top of that. The issue is right here, he doesn't have the angle to stay over the top and force the cutback. So he can't go over here and force a running back to go inside for pursuit. He's just too far behind at this point. He cannot make up that ground. And then to add insult to injury, he gets tripped up by Milano as that contact is coming, and Becton lays into him, and then boom, they have the edge. So I think overall, this is actually a decent job by Bernard at recognizing that crack toss and staying over the top of the traffic. But when that offensive lineman has that head start on that crack toss, that crack block, and then pull, it's just very difficult for the Mike to stay over the top on that play, or at least force a cutback so that the defense can rally. This is the interception by Matt Milano. Bills are in cover 3. Milano pretty much doesn't have to move and the ball is thrown to him, but I just like Bernard's spacing, his awareness on this play as the Jets send out essentially 3 targets into his area. So you got a crosser, you got a second crosser coming over middle, and then the check down to the running back. So watch Bernard. He gets to his landmark, he gets to his zone, and then he drifts inside. So he's trusting his eyes on this play because the quarterback is obviously looking in this direction to the right side of the field. So he is playing with that vision in this vision-based system. He's drifting a little bit to help protect the middle of the field, but he's also doing a good job of keeping his eyes on that check down. So if Cook gets the ball here, he's still got a decent angle to kind of hem him in and make the tackle. But Wilson throws it over the middle, right to Matt Milano for the interception. But again, the awareness, the vision, and how Bernard trusts his eyes and what he sees and goes with it, all of those things could come up later in pass coverage, and it could also lead to big plays as the season progresses. Bernard gets an assist on this tackle as the Jets try running a pitch to the right side of the defense. Bills have a safety blitz called, a run blitz called from the boundary with Hyde coming. But watch Bernard undercut this, sense a cutback as Hall gets north and south. He's right there with Ed Oliver and Hyde to disrupt the play and bring down the running back. So good job of undercutting and sensing that cutback, not just fast flowing over the top, understanding that Rousseau and Rapp have the edge contained and that the cutback is coming. The cutback is forced by Ed Oliver. And as Hall gets north and south, Bernard's right there for the cutback to help Ed Oliver bring the ball carrier down. So these are the type of plays you're going to see from time to time from Bernard, where he's going to get stuck to blocks and is unable to disengage from blocks. Not a horrible play here. He's actually in his gap, but the movement and the shift by the defense, they're having a process on the move, and you see the gap run coming right at him, and this tight end is able to get a good angle on him. You see the hole is right here. Milano's doing a good job of boxing that play in. Bernard's in his gap, but it looks like Poyer is caught thinking this is a play action pass when he really should be coming downhill, making the tackle on Cook for a shorter gain. But these are the type of plays you're going to see from time to time from Bernard, where he's not able to destroy blocks or destruct blocks right away. Eventually he does, and he helps make the tackle, but that's going to be the growing area, and an area we need to pay attention to. When he's not kept clean, how is he beating blocks? There are many ways to beat blocks. He's not a guy that's going to stack and shed at the point of attack very often. Bernard finished the game with 6 total tackles against the run at an average depth of tackle of 1 yard. And here's one of the better trigger plays by him. Comes downhill, makes a tackle on Breece Hall in the hole. But it's not as easy as it looks. So on the snap, the tight end is coming back across the formation. And that's why you see Bernard, Milano call out back, back, back. And that is telling everyone at the second level that the tight end's coming across the formation. That means they have to bump back a gap. And on the snap, the center does a great job of widening Ed Oliver and washing out Milano. Backside guard cuts Daquan Jones down. Bernard is having to read off of those guys. He sees daylight and he goes, triggers, and makes the tackle. So good read on this play, good processing pre to post snap. Tight end on a sift block across the formation, back, back, back call. They need to worry about bumping back a gap on this run. He does, reads it well, and makes the tackle. Here's an area where I think we will see Bernard exploited at times. Wide zone action here, so outside zone, play action fake. And he just doesn't have the speed or recovery speed that a Tremaine Edmonds does. And I think when you have these crossers from the backside on these wide zone runs and naked bootlegs, I think he will be exploited at times. Now, he doesn't here, but these are the things that we need to keep track of as the season progresses, because teams are going to see this on film and realize, okay, we could have had that crosser there behind the linebacker. Instead, the pressure really created issues for Zach Wilson. And it's nearly intercepted. So here's a play from the Jets, just a mesh concept, really good versus man, but the Bills are in zone coverage, good communication from Bernard. You can see the Bills sort out this mesh. So you got the 2 crossers coming over the middle, and then the sit route usually is sitting right there over the ball. They do a good job of working through that. The quarterback is looking out wide to the running back. He's the first read. Second one is usually this guy coming right into his frame, but Taron Johnson does a great job of sitting right there, helping take that away. But also Bernard's eyes are on the quarterback right there, and he helps take away not only that crossing route to Wilson, but also to the tight end. Pressure is home at a good clip, and they're able to bring down Zach Wilson. So good job of sorting this out post-snap. Mesh concept, really, really good versus man coverage. But on this play, the Bills are in zone, and they shut it down. So later in the game, the Jets come back to that mesh concept. The Bills go to man coverage, more of a 2-man look. Bernard gets matched up with Allen Lazard, but gets picked off, and Zach Wilson is somehow able to find Lazard late in the play. So you want to see Bernard do a good job or a better job of keeping his head on a swivel, not getting that tunnel vision. So you got the two crossers here, and you want to see him see this rub coming and this traffic coming and work over the top of it. Yes, he may work over the top, and that may create separation for Lazard, but at least he's in position with an opportunity to make a tackle on the wide receiver. Instead, he gets dropped to the turf at the logo, and the Jets get an explosive play to Allen Lazard. Here it is from the end zone angle. Again, mesh concept. Very good versus man coverage. He spots that crosser, but by the time he's able to look out ahead, it's too late. The Bills don't have any type of banjo or switch called here, so White isn't passing his guy off to Bernard and vice versa. He runs into traffic. Wide receiver is wide open. Wilson is able to get the ball out of his hands late to Lazard for the big play. Just unfortunate, but something when the Bills go to man coverage, you have to be cognizant as a linebacker for these type of picks and rub concepts. Jets go back to that 13 personnel, run that duo call. Bills are aligned properly on this play. And you see Bernard fire his gun, come downhill, force a cutback. Breece Hall cuts it back, gets 6 yards on this play on the backside of this dual run. Minor note, at this point, I would have liked to see the third linebacker in instead of Taylor Rapp. I like Rapp, but I don't want him playing stacked linebacker in an A-gap against a run-heavy team late in the game. This should be a linebacker. Either way, the Bills minimize this run. Bernard fires downhill, forces the cutback. The Bills rally and tackle. Late in the game, Jets, again, trying to burn the clock here. Come out in 13 personnel, run that duo run. Bernard does a great job of coming downhill, filling his gap, disengaging, but he misses the tackle in the hole. It's his only missed tackle in this game against the run. But I do like how he comes downhill quickly, leads with those hands, stacks, sheds, and then right here, you'd like to see him make the tackle. I know it's a tough angle on Breece Hall, and Breece Hall is a talented running back, but you'd like to see him make this tackle. Either way, the Bills do minimize this run. Once again, Jets trying to run the clock here. They try using a little movement prior to the snap with the tight end coming across the formation as the ball is snapped. That adds a gap to the defense's left. That forces the defensive linebackers, the guys at the second level, to bump over a gap to their left. But then post-snap, they're also adding a gap by having this guy pull from the backside. Bernard fires his gun, gets downhill, tracks the ball, and goes and makes the stop. I thought he did a great job overall when we're talking the Mike linebacker position of coming downhill, triggering and trusting his eyes, whether it was versus the run or pass. And you see that on this play. Great job coming downhill, processing pre to post snap, and making the tackle. Thanks again for joining me in the film room for this Cover 1 film room feature of linebacker Terrel Bernard. A lot of good, some bad, but he's a young player. We're going to keep tracking him the rest of the season. But before you guys get out of here, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment. Give me your grade and what you thought about Bernard, where he struggled in areas, where he actually excelled, and what you're excited about from the linebacker position, especially the inside linebacker position. And if you enjoyed these type of breakdowns, make sure to join us in the film room every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We'll be in there tomorrow night breaking down most likely the Bills offense and Josh Allen and his struggles versus the Jets defense. So I'm Eric Turner, owner of Cover 1, host of the Film Room. Thanks for joining me again, and we'll see you Wednesday night at 7.